What's going on, everybody? It's Saturday, June 30th. I am 1 week out from my Vegas trip. I am batching it this weekend. Kimberly took the kids up to Seattle to visit some friends and family. So what does that mean? It's my last weekend to get ready for my Vegas trip. So I am on my way to Livermore Casino down in Livermore off 1st Street. They have a 11 o'clock $100 buy-in re-entry tournament. The structure is horrible. The blind levels are only 15 minutes, but I'm hoping I can run good. I believe they're guaranteed first place at least 1,000, but I imagine it could be 1,500 at least. So I'm trying to repeat my performance 3 years ago, right before my World Series of Poker event. I went to Livermore a couple weeks prior, won the tournament, won 1,400, and parlayed that into my Vegas trip where I won 5,400. So let's hope for the same thing. I'm on my way, and I will check in a little bit. All right, later.
Thanks.
What's up, guys? I just played some 4-8 limit for a couple hours, waiting for my seat because I got here early. It was a crazy up and down session. I bought in for 140, got all the way down to all in on a pot where I made a 2 pair against top pair, built it back up to 110, so I lost 30 bucks. But I got some good limit time in, and it's about to be tournament time, so here we go. Let's win this. We're on break and made it through 3 levels. And I started with 9,000 in chips, won a couple decent pots, didn't have to show down. I'm up to about 13,500. I'm gonna get a quick bite to eat and go back at it. There's 19 players. We are at the final table on break. There's 6 players left. Top 3 get paid. I am chip leader at 65,100. There've been some crazy pots. I'm picking my spots wisely because it's definitely short stack play. Let's take this thing down, baby. First place, 850. Let's go. What's up, guys? Turns out they paid 4 places, and we took 100 off top for the bubble, which was 5th place. So I just got 3rd place. 3rd place paid $293, so I turned a couple $100 profit. I played great. I just didn't win that last hand. I had king 10 of diamonds. I was short stacked. I moved in, got called by ace high, and he held up. So I'm super pumped about how the day went. Really focused. I played well. Caught some guys on some bluffs. And yeah, man, I'm ready for Vegas. This is sweet. Hey, what's up, guys? Just getting back into San Ramon. Yeah, man, that was a great tournament. I really don't feel like I did anything bad, no bad moves. I mean, at the end, we were all playing less than 10 big blinds, 3-handed, with one guy had a massive stack, and it's all about who gets lucky in the coin flips at that point. I had moved in with ace king from the button, the big blind, who was the equal short stack, had ace queen, and we got all in, and I held, and he went down to like 10,000, and I was up to 60, and then I just got bunch of crap hands for maybe 5 hands in a row, and he moved in a few times. The next thing you know, I was the short stack again. But I'm super thrilled with how I played. The guy who won played really well. He was putting pressure on us 3-handed, and that's what you should do with the chip lead. And the pay jumps were huge. 3rd place was 293, 2nd was 450, and 1st was 900. So yeah, I mean, you just have to play your cards. You can't just go in there bluffing because there's such a big pay jump. So I had a good time. I have quite a few hands I can share with you guys now. I made some notes, and I think you'll be really entertained. There's some really interesting hands, both in the limit and the no limit, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, see you in Vegas! Alright, so here's a pot early on in my 4-8 game. I was up 14 bucks. Seed 8 just limped in. There's a middle position raiser. He made it 8. I'm in the big blind with King 7 offsuit. Seat 1 folds. Seat 2 folds. Seat 3 folds. Small blind calls. I call 4 additional chips. The pot odds were there. I mean, King 7 isn't a great hand, but I mean, I was getting way too good a price to fold that. And then the guy who limped in seed 8 called too, so we had 4 players to the flop. So the flop came out King, Queen, 3, Rainbow. So I lead out for 4 just to see where I'm at. I got a call, 2 calls, and then the small blind folded. So at this point, I'm thinking I didn't get re-raised, so I could very well have the best hand, because if the guy in the middle position who raised had aces, ace king, you know, king queen, king jack where I'm beat, he's probably raising me to isolate, to fold out the other players. So at this point, I think I'm probably good, so I'll see what happens on the turn and reevaluate. So the turn comes an 8, and I'm second to act, so I lead out for 8 again, get a call on seat 8, and it's just heads up now. So the river's a 5. I figure that's a safe card. You know, the guy never raised me. Turns out he had 3-5 offsuit. He had limped in under the gun, or second position, called the raise, called all the way with bottom pair, and then hit 2 pair on the river. And this, my friends, is why I love limit poker, and this is why I am a winning player at every form of limit poker I've ever played, because of players like this. Yes, he sucked me out and won the pot, but it's in the long term, this guy's never going to win, and very rarely will he hit that 2 pair, and I'm going to win that pot probably 9 out of 10 times, so I'll let him take this one, but I know it's coming back to me. Okay, so I'm down 45 bucks, but it's time to make a little comeback here. I'm in second position and I got dealt 2 black kings, so I raised it to 8 bucks. I get 1 call on seat 8, button calls, small blind folds, big blind calls. Flop comes out. Queen 9-3. Check to me. I continuation bet. Seat 8 raises to 8 bucks. So at this point, I know I'm still good. I mean, he didn't raise pre-flop, and he could have any queen, any 9, a straight draw. I'm good way too many times here to think I'm behind. So the action comes back to me. I repop it up to 12 just to see where I'm at. And then he caps it at 16 bucks. So that's a little scary. So I re-raised to see how strong this guy really was if he's messed around. So he re-raised me again. So that's the 3rd raise on the flop. So at this point, I am a little concerned that he has a set, or he has 2 pair. Really, it would only be queen 9, probably. He's a pretty aggressive guy, but he didn't play every hand. So I called, and we go to the turn. Turn comes a 5. Clearly, he's shown a lot of power, so I check to him. He bets 8 bucks. I call. River comes a 3. I check. He checks. I take down the pot with my kings. He put in the 3rd raise on the flop with top pair with a 4 kicker. And I love limit. Okay, it's tournament time now. We started the tournament with 9,000 in chips, and I quickly built my stack up to 13,500. I'm on the bottom there. So the guy to my left was an aggressive player. Clearly he was an experienced player, but I wasn't super impressed. He was just really aggressive. So you have to be careful of those type of guys. He had 8,800. I had the chip lead at the table, and he was second in chips. So I got dealt a very pretty hand, ace jack of diamonds. So it folds to me in the cutoff, which is the position 1 off the dealer button, and I raise to 1,100. The aggressive guy on the button called, and the big blind called. So the flop comes out ace, queen, 7. Ace of spades, queen of diamonds, 7 of clubs. Big blind checks. I make it 1,100 into a pot of 3,500. The aggressive guy on the button quickly raises me to 2,300. So now I have a decision. He's got 5,400 behind after the raise, and I'm sitting on about 11,000. So at this point, this is like an all-in or nothing type of play, because we don't have enough room to just call him here. So my thought process is, if he has ace king or ace queen, which are two hands that have me beat, he's likely raising me, probably just going all in pre-flop, because we're not very deep stacked. So since he didn't do that and he just called my raise pre-flop, I don't put him on ace king or ace queen. The hand I am scared of is ace 7, because that's definitely a hand he could call on the button, and now he's got 2 pair and has me crushed, or pocket 7s. I mean, pocket aces, pocket queens, ace king, ace queen, I don't put him on those. So I'm really only worried about pocket 7s or ace 7. But after going through that thought process, I decided to just put him all in. I figure there's a lot of hands he could just try. I mean, he could be trying to bluff me off with a queen or any ace with a lower kicker. So I move all in for my entire stack. He quickly calls me. He flips up ace 10, and it runs out, and I win the pot, and I busted him. So now I'm sitting on a pretty huge stack. Okay, so here is a pretty significant pot in this tournament for me. I'm at 23,000, still one of the chip leaders at the table, and this hand really puts me in good shape to get to the final table and make a good run at winning this thing. I get dealt ace 10 of diamonds in the small blind, and it folds all the way around to me. The blinds are 3 and 600, and I raise it up to 1,500, which is 2.5 times the big blind. Big blind calls, and the button folds. Flop comes out jack 10 5 with 1 diamond. So I flop second pair with the best kicker possible. I lead out for 1,100, and the big blind calls. So I might be worried about a jack here, but he didn't raise me, so I still might have the best hand. He could be on a draw. Turn comes out 7 of diamonds, so now I have 4 diamonds and second pair with the best kicker. So I like my hand, but I don't want to bet and get raised all in maybe and have to call, make a crying call on a draw, because if he moves all in on me, he most likely has a jack. So I check, and then he checks behind, so I get my free card. So the river is the most beautiful queen of diamonds I've ever seen in my life. I just made the nuts, and the pot going into the river was about 5,800 or so. So the way I play this, I bet the flop, he called. I check the turn, he checks. So I didn't show a ton of strength, and there's no way he can put me on diamonds. He probably would have figured I would have bet again on the turn with the diamonds. So I decide if he has like a jack, he's calling me probably no matter what I bet. So I figure I might as well just over bet the pot. So I bet 7,000 into a pot of 5,800. So I bet more than the pot. If he didn't have anything, he's folding anyway, but he quickly called me and I showed him the nuts and I took down the pot. And he was mumbling under his breath. It's one of the greatest things you'll ever see as a poker player.